My beloved child, pause for a moment and listen with your spirit, not just your ears. This is not a random message, and this is not appearing in your life by chance. Archangel Michael stands before you right now with urgency in his voice and fire in his eyes, saying, "This is your last alert. Heaven has marked this moment. A powerful divine change is approaching, and it cannot wait any longer. God himself is urging you to watch this immediately because what is coming next will redefine your path. Hear this clearly. This is not about fear but about preparation. Many have sensed that something feels different lately, like the air has shifted, like time itself is speeding up. That is because the spiritual clock has moved. Archangel Michael is revealing that delays have expired. What was paused is about to move. What was hidden is about to surface. And what you thought would take years is now being compressed into moments. Chosen one, this is your last alert, not because God is done with you, but because heaven is ready to act. You have already been warned gently. You have already been nudged quietly. But now the message comes with authority. Archangel Michael says the window is open, but it will not stay open forever. Divine change does not wait for comfort. It responds to obedience. There is a reason this message found you today and not yesterday, not tomorrow. The enemy has been working overtime to distract you, exhaust you, and convince you that nothing is changing. But Archangel Michael exposes this lie right now. Behind the scenes, God has been rearranging people, removing false supports, and cutting off paths that would have delayed your destiny. What felt like loss was actually protection. Beloved, let this sink into your spirit. The change approaching you is powerful because it is necessary. God is not adjusting small things anymore. He is making decisive moves. Some relationships will not survive this shift. Some habits cannot go with you. Some doors will close without explanation. This is not punishment. This is alignment. Archangel Michael is stepping forward as a divine warrior in your life. He is standing guard over this transition, making sure no counterfeit blessing replaces the real one. That is why things have felt intense. That is why sleep has been strange. That is why your emotions have been unpredictable. Your spirit has been sensing what your mind could not explain. Listen carefully now. God urges you to watch this immediately because this message carries instruction, not just information. Ignoring it would mean repeating cycles you were meant to break. Heaven is saying, do not postpone obedience. The alert is final because the opportunity is right. There is something specific God hath been asking you to release. You know exactly what it is. You have been negotiating with him, asking for more time. Archangel Michael says that time has run out, not in anger, but in mercy. The sooner you let go, the faster the change arrives. Resistance will only make the transition heavier. My dear one, understand this. Divine change does not ask for permission from your comfort zone. It responds to faith. And faith is required now, not later. What is approaching carries restoration, elevation, and clarity, but only if you move when God says move. Archangel Michael reveals that some of you are standing at a spiritual intersection. One path keeps you safe but stuck. The other feels unfamiliar but leads to purpose. This message is heaven's flare in the sky saying, choose now. Silence is no longer neutral. Delay is no longer harmless. Feel the authority in this moment. God is not whispering. He is urging. The shift coming will expose truth in people around you. Masks will fall. Intentions will be revealed. Do not be shocked when this happens. You were warned because you are protected. What is exposed is being removed to make space for what is real. Beloved child, Archangel Michael wants you to know that fear is not a sign to stop. It is a sign you are close. The enemy always panics when divine change is about to manifest. That is why distractions suddenly increased. That is why doubts got louder. But heaven is louder still. This is your last alert because the next phase begins whether you are ready or not. The question is not if God will move, but how you will respond. Will you cling to the familiar, or will you trust the one who sees the end from the beginning? Take a deep breath. You are not alone in this. Archangel Michael stands with you. Gun good before you. And what is approaching is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to deliver you. Pay attention now. What comes next will clarify what action is required and why this moment cannot be ignored. My precious one, let your heart stay open as this message goes deeper, because Archangel Michael is now revealing why this last alert carries such weight. The change approaching you is not random movement. It is targeted, intentional, and divinely timed. God has been watching your endurance, your silent prayers, and the moments you chose faith even when nothing made sense. This is why heaven is responding now. Archangel Michael says many of you have been living in a season where effort felt wasted. You tried again and again, yet doors remained shut. You sowed kindness, loyalty, and patience, yet received confusion in return. This was not because God ignored you. It was because He was preventing premature success. If the change had arrived earlier, it would have crushed you instead of crowned you. Timing is protection. Listen carefully. The alert is final because the preparation phase is complete. You are no longer being shaped. You are being released. God has finished refining your discernment. You now see things you once overlooked. You sense shifts before they happen. You feel uneasy around what used to feel normal. That is maturity, not weakness. Archangel Michael confirms that you are spiritually positioned for what is coming. However, heaven also warns that this divine change requires your agreement. God will not drag you into destiny. You must choose alignment over familiarity. There are patterns God is ending permanently. Cycles of self-doubt, emotional dependency, and silent compromise are being shut down. This is why the alert feels intense. Endings always do. Archangel Michael reveals that some of you are being separated from environments that drained you without you realizing it. Places where you shrank to fit. Conversations that normalized your pain. Roles that demanded everything but honored nothing. God is not removing these to leave you empty. He is clearing space for divine order. You cannot carry new wine in old containers. Understand this truth. Resistance will show up as confusion. If you feel mentally foggy or unusually restless, it is because your spirit is already stepping forward while your habits are trying to pull you back. This tension is temporary but necessary. Archangel Michael assures you that clarity will come the moment obedience begins. Beloved, do not underestimate the power of small decisions right now. A single yes can unlock a cascade of blessings. A single no can break a generational pattern. Heaven is watching how you respond to this alert, not with judgment, but with anticipation. God delights in your courage more than your perfection. Now hear this instruction clearly. Stop explaining yourself to people who benefit from misunderstanding you. This divine change will make some uncomfortable because it removes access they once had to your energy. Archangel Michael says silence will protect you more than arguments. Let God defend you. Let results speak. As this message flows into your life, I want you to pause for just a moment. If this is resonating with your spirit, let that agreement be visible. Like this message, share it with someone who needs divine clarity. Leave a comment declaring that you are ready for God's move, and make sure you are subscribed so you stay connected to what heaven continues to reveal here. Your engagement is not just support, it is alignment. There is something else Archangel Michael wants you to know. The change approaching you will not arrive loudly. It will begin quietly, always subtly. A conversation, an idea, an invitation, an inner nudge. Do not dismiss small beginnings. God often disguises breakthroughs as ordinary moments to protect them from interference. You may feel tempted to rush ahead and control outcomes. Resist that urge. This season is about cooperation, not force. God is orchestrating timing, people, and opportunities with precision. Your role is obedience and trust. Archangel Michael is guarding what is being built so that nothing meant for you is stolen or delayed. Some of you have been praying for confirmation. This is it. Not because every detail is revealed, but because peace is being offered before understanding. Faith always walks ahead of explanation. If you wait to feel fully ready, you will miss the moment. Heaven moves with those who move with it. Beloved child, this is where many people would normally scroll away, thinking they have heard enough. But hold on, because what unfolds next brings a revelation that ties everything together in a way you may not expect. What Archangel Michael reveals next will help you recognize the exact moment the change begins, so you do not miss it. My cherished one, Archangel Michael now draws your attention to a hidden layer of this divine alert, something many overlook but few are chosen to understand. The reason this change cannot wait is because heaven has already signed off on it. What you are sensing is not anticipation. It is confirmation arriving before manifestation. God often speaks twice, once in the spirit and once in the natural. You are hearing the first echo now. There is a spiritual authorization that has just been released over your life. Archangel Michael reveals that certain delays were not caused by opposition, but by timing. Heaven was aligning multiple outcomes at once. You were not waiting on God. God was arranging the full picture so nothing would be missing when it arrived. This is why the shift feels sudden. From heaven's view, it has been building for a long time. Beloved, understand this deeply. When God says this is your last alert, He is not threatening loss. He is announcing readiness. Readiness attracts responsibility. You are being trusted with more because you have grown. Your discernment is sharper. Your tolerance for confusion is lower. Your spirit no longer settles for half-truths. That is evidence of preparation. Archangel Michael speaks of a mantle being activated in your life. Not a public title, but a spiritual authority. You will notice that people begin to listen differently when you speak. Your words will carry weight, even when you say little. This is because God is placing truth on your tongue and clarity in your presence. You will disrupt confusion simply by being aligned. Yet, with this activation comes a warning wrapped in love. Do not rush to explain what God is doing. Some revelations are meant to be lived before they are spoken. Oversharing too early can dilute power. Archangel Michael advises restraint, not secrecy. Let fruit appear first. Let change speak on your behalf. There will be a test of patience very soon. Not to delay you, but to confirm you. Something will appear almost right, but not fully aligned. If you wait, something better will follow quickly. This is where many miss their blessing. They settle because it is available, not because it is ordained. Remember this alert when that moment comes. God is also healing something internal as this change approaches. A disappointment you buried. A hope you stopped mentioning. a prayer you assumed was forgotten. Archangel Michael says nothing entrusted to God is ever lost. It is only stored until the right version of you exists to receive it. That version is standing here now. Beloved child, you may feel emotional without knowing why. Tears without a clear reason. Gratitude mixed with grief. This is release. Old weight is leaving your spirit. You are shedding survival mode. You are stepping into trust mode. The transition is holy, even when it feels uncomfortable. Let this truth anchor you. The next chapter will not require the same struggle. You learned enough. You fought enough. You prove your faith. God is not impressed by suffering. He is moved by surrender. What comes next will flow more easily because resistance is being removed. Archangel Michael assures you that protection surrounds this change. What is meant for you will not be intercepted. What is not meant for you will no longer tempt you. This clarity is a gift. Honor it. Do not romanticize what God has clearly ended. Do not reopen doors He closed for your safety. As this part of the message settles, receive this final instruction for now. Stay spiritually alert but emotionally calm. Anxiety is not preparation. Peace is. God speaks best when your heart is still. You do not need to chase the change. It is already moving toward you. Now receive this prophetic activation. Type "I receive divine alignment" in the comments if this message is bearing witness in your spirit. Blessing code 909 has just been released. And hear this sacred invitation as the message continues to flow. As Archangel Michael speaks of divine alignment and urgent obedience, this word must reach those who are still waiting in confusion. I am inviting you personally to help carry this fire forward. When you release support through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link placed in the description, you are sowing into souls, not a channel. God says in His word that when you cast your bread upon the waters, it returns in multiplied form, and I declare that promise alive over your giving now. This is not a donation. It is a prophetic response to heaven's alert. As you give, may oil never run dry in your house. May clarity chase you down, and may doors open without struggle. Obey this nudge now and partner with what God is doing through this message. My beloved one, Archangel Michael now draws you even closer, because the next layer of this message carries clarity about the inner transformation already unfolding within you. While you have been watching external circumstances, heaven has been reshaping your internal landscape. God always changes the vessel before He pours the new wine. That is why this season has felt deeply personal, even isolating at times. You were being prepared in silence. Here is a mindset God hath been dismantling gently but firmly. It is the belief that you must struggle endlessly to be worthy of breakthrough. Archangel Michael says this belief did not come from God. It was learned through disappointment. You adapted to pain so well that ease began to feel suspicious. But now heaven is restoring your ability to receive without fear. Race is not a trap. Rest is not laziness. Peace is not a pause before loss. The divine change approaching you requires a renewed sense of identity. You are no longer the one waiting to be chosen. You are the one being trusted. God does not entrust expansion to those who still see themselves as small. This is why confidence has been rising quietly within you. Not arrogance, but certainty. You no longer feel the need to prove your worth. A shift alone is a breakthrough. Archangel Michael reveals that old emotional agreements are being broken. You once believed you had to overgive to be loved, over-explain to be understood, and overperform to be valued. Those contracts are now void. God is teaching you that what is aligned will not require exhaustion. What is divinely ordered will meet you halfway. This is how you will recognize what is truly from Him. There will be moments very soon where you are tempted to fall back into old responses, reacting instead of discerning, rushing instead of waiting, speaking instead of listening. These moments are not failures, they are checkpoints. Archangel Michael encourages you to pause before responding. The pause will protect you. Wisdom now moves slower, but farther. Beloved, you are also being repositioned relationally. Not everyone will understand the new boundaries you are setting. Some will feel entitled to the old version of you. When you no longer respond the same way, they may accuse you of changing. They are correct. You have changed. Growth always offends familiarity. God is teaching you to honor your energy as sacred. Where you place your attention determines what grows in your life. Archangel Michael says distraction is one of the enemy's most subtle tools. Not temptation, but fragmentation. Pulling your focus in too many directions until you forget what God is actually doing. Simplify. Reduce noise. Protect your inner space. The change approaching you also brings a new level of discernment. You will begin to sense truth without needing proof. This does not mean you become suspicious of everyone. It means you become anchored in wisdom. Trust will be guided, not blind. This will save you from unnecessary entanglements and emotional setbacks. There is an invitation from God in this moment to let go of the need to control outcomes. Control once served you because you felt unsafe. But now safety is being restored through trust. Archangel Michael says God is taking responsibility for outcomes that once rested on your shoulders. You are being relieved of burdens you were never meant to carry long term. You may notice that certain desires are fading. Things you once wanted badly no longer excite you. This is not loss of passion. It is refinement. God is narrowing your focus so your energy is no longer scattered. Purpose thrives in clarity, not chaos. Beloved child, let yourself grieve what is ending without doubting what is beginning. Every transition carries a farewell. Even when the future is bright, the past still mattered. God honors your tears. They are not weakness. They are release. Archangel Michael assures you that nothing you are feeling right now is wasted. As this divine change draws nearer, you will experience moments of deep calm, followed by sudden insight. Pay attention to these flashes of understanding. Write them down if needed. God often gives instruction in fragments, trusting you to assemble them through obedience. The next phase of your life will be marked by intentionality. You will no longer move out of urgency, but out of clarity. Decisions will feel cleaner. Conversations will feel lighter. Even challenges will not feel as heavy because you will know they are purposeful, not random. Archangel Michael leaves you with this assurance. You are not behind. You are right on time. Heaven's clock is precise. Every delay served a purpose. Every detour taught you something essential. And now, with this last alert echoing in your spirit, you are stepping forward not as someone hoping for change, but as someone ready to steward it. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. What unfolds next will reveal how this inner transformation connects directly to the external shift God has prepared for you. My dear one, Archangel Michael now speaks with a steady calm, because what is unfolding next requires both courage and trust. The divine change approaching you is not only about what God is giving, but also about how He is repositioning you to receive it. Many misunderstand this stage. They think the blessing arrives first and the strength comes later. In truth, God builds the strength quietly so the blessing does not overwhelm you. You may have noticed a new seriousness settling into your spirit. Not heaviness, but resolve. You are less willing to tolerate what drains you. You question patterns that once went unchecked. This is the sound of wisdom maturing. Archangel Michael confirms that discernment is being sharpened so you do not mistake urgency for destiny. There is also a divine pruning taking place. God is removing expectations that were never meant to define your future. Dreams that were born out of survival rather than calling are gently being laid down. This can feel confusing because letting go of old dreams feels like loss. But heaven assures you that nothing aligned with your true purpose will be taken away. Only substitutes are being removed. Beloved child, the change approaching you will require you to stand confidently in moments where you once sought validation. People may not immediately understand your decisions. Some may question your timing. Others may project their fear onto your obedience. Archangel Michael urges you not to internalize these voices. God's instruction often sounds unreasonable to those who are not called to walk your path. You are learning a new rhythm now, one where rest is not earned through exhaustion, but received through trust. This is why your body and mind have been craving stillness. Silence is not emptiness. It is where clarity is born. God speaks in the quiet because the quiet belongs to Him. There is something important you must recognize. The upcoming change will expose the difference between support and convenience in your relationships. True support celebrates your growth even when it disrupts comfort. Convenience only exists as long as you remain the same. Archangel Michael says, do not chase understanding from those who benefited from your old limits. This season is also training you to respond rather than react. Not every challenge requires immediate action. Some require observation. Some require prayer. Some require distance. Wisdom will tell you which is which. Trust the pause. It is not hesitation. It is alignment. Beloved, your spiritual sensitivity is increasing. You may feel overwhelmed by environments that once felt neutral. This is because your tolerance for spiritual noise is decreasing. You are becoming more attuned to what feeds your spirit and what drains it. This awareness is protection. God is also teaching you to release guilt associated with choosing yourself, choosing rest, choosing peace, choosing obedience even when it disappoints others. Archangel Michael says guilt is not a sign of wrongdoing. It is often a residue of old conditioning. Let it go. You are not responsible for maintaining harmony at the cost of your calling. As the divine change approaches, you may feel moments of uncertainty. Do not interpret this as lack of faith. Faith and uncertainty can coexist. Faith chooses trust even when the outcome is unseen. God does not require certainty to move. He requires willingness. There will be an opportunity soon that tests this willingness. It may not look dramatic. It may feel subtle, even ordinary. But how you respond will set the tone for the next chapter. Archangel Michael advises you to respond with integrity rather than urgency. What is rushed rarely lasts. What is aligned endures. Beloved child, let go of the belief that you must have everything figured out before taking the next step. Clarity follows movement, not the other way around. God lights the path one step at a time so that dependence remains on Him, not on your understanding. The change you are stepping into will bring responsibility, but it will also bring support. God does not elevate without equipping. New connections will form naturally. Resources will appear when needed. Strength will meet demand. You are not walking into lack. You are walking into provision. Archangel Michael reassures you that what hath been ordained cannot be undone by fear, hesitation, or opposition. Heaven has already accounted for every obstacle. You are not being tested to see if you will fail, but to reveal how far you have come. As this message settles in your heart, remain anchored in peace, Peace is your compass now. If a decision steals your peace, pause. If it deepens your peace, proceed. God is guiding you through alignment, not pressure. Stay attentive to the subtle confirmations around you. Repeated words, unexpected encouragement, a quiet sense of knowing. These are not coincidences. They are reminders that you are not walking alone. What comes next will reveal how this divine repositioning leads directly into visible change. Archangel Michael remains with you, guarding each step as you move forward with trust and courage. My beloved child, Archangel Michael now speaks with a tone of steady authority because this phase of the message is about momentum. What God has initiated in the spirit is now beginning to take form in the natural. You may not see the full picture yet, but you will start noticing movement where there was once stillness. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. There is a shift happening in how you respond to pressure. Situations that once overwhelmed you no longer have the same grip. You pause. You breathe. You discern. This is evidence that the inner work God completed is now active. Archangel Michael says you are no longer operating from survival, but from alignment. A difference will change everything. The divine change approaching you requires consistency, not intensity. In the past, you pushed hard in short bursts, then felt drained. God is teaching you a new way: steady obedience, paced faith, sustainable trust. This is how long-term fruit is produced. Burnout is not a badge of honor, balance is. Beloved, you may notice that certain problems are resolving themselves without your interference. Conversations shift. Resistance softens. Opportunities arise unexpectedly. This is because God is stepping in where you once felt the need to control. Archangel Michael confirms that when alignment is present, effort decreases and effectiveness increases. However, this season also demands discernment. Not every opportunity is an assignment. Not every open door is meant for you. Some doors are distractions dressed as blessings. Before saying yes, ask if it brings peace or pressure. God's invitations bring clarity, even when they stretch you. There is also a refinement happening in your communication. You are learning when to speak and when to remain silent. Words carry weight now. What you say can open doors or close them. Archangel Michael urges you to speak with intention, not emotion. Let wisdom lead your time. You are being trained to recognize divine timing. Impatience once caused you to move too early. Fear once caused you to move too late. Now you are learning to move when God says move. This sensitivity is a gift. Protect it. Do not drown it out with noise or comparison. Beloved child, comparison is one of the fastest ways to lose sight of your assignment. God does not measure your progress against others. He measures it against obedience. What He is doing in your life is unique. It does not need to look like anyone else's journey to be valid. As this message reaches you, I want you to stay connected to this flow of divine clarity. If these words are strengthening your spirit, take a moment to like this message, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and leave a comment declaring your trust in God's timing. Make sure you are subscribed so you remain anchored to these prophetic insights. This is not just content, it is spiritual nourishment for this season. Archangel Michael now reveals something important about endurance. The next stage will require you to remain faithful even when progress feels slow. Momentum does not always feel fast. Sometimes it feels steady. Do not confuse steadiness with stagnation. Roots grow quietly before branches rise visibly. There may be a brief moment where you question if you heard God correctly. This does not mean you are wrong. It means you are human. Faith is not the absence of doubt. It is the decision to trust despite it. God is not offended by your questions. He is honored by your perseverance. Beloved, your obedience is creating a ripple effect beyond what you can see. People connected to you are being impacted by your alignment. Generational patterns are being interrupted. Spiritual doors are opening for those around you because of your yes. This is why heaven takes your decisions seriously. You are also learning to celebrate progress without needing applause. Quiet victories matter. Inner peace matters. Consistent obedience matters. Archangel Michael said heaven records faithfulness even when no one else notices. As the change unfolds, guard your rest. Fatigue can distort perception. Rest restores clarity. God often gives direction when the body is still and the mind is calm. You not glorify exhaustion. Honor balance. Beloved child, you are closer than you think. This is not the time to disengage or lose focus. Hold on, because what unfolds next will reveal how this momentum leads directly into visible manifestation, and you will be glad you stayed attentive through this stage. My beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks with a depth that settles into your spirit rather than rushing your emotions, because this stage of the journey is about stabilization. Momentum has begun, alignment is active, and now heaven is teaching you how to stand firmly without wavering. What God is building in your life must be able to remain, not just arrive. You are entering a phase where consistency becomes more important than excitement. The early signs of change may have stirred strong emotions, but now God is inviting you into disciplined faith. This is where many fall back, not because they lack belief, but because they mistake calm for absence. Archangel Michael says calm is not absence. It is evidence that God is in control. There will be days ahead where nothing dramatic happens. No sudden signs. No clear confirmations. These are not empty days. These are anchoring days. They are strengthening your spiritual posture so that when visible change accelerates, you do not become unstable. Roots are deepening even when branches are still. Beloved child, you are also learning how to live without constant reassurance. In earlier seasons, God comforted you often because you were wounded and unsure. Now He trusts you with silence because you are secure. This shift can feel unfamiliar. Do not interpret it as distance. It is confidence. Archangel Michael reveals that your spiritual authority is settling into place. Authority does not announce itself loudly. It shows up as composure under pressure, wisdom in conversation, and restraint when reaction would be easier. You will notice that you no longer feel compelled to defend yourself. Truth no longer needs your anxiety to survive. This is also a season where temptation may return in subtle forms. Not the obvious struggles of the past, but familiar patterns that whisper comfort. Old habits may try to present themselves as relief. Old connections may resurface unexpectedly. This is not coincidence. It is a final check of discernment. What no longer fits will feel obvious. Trust that feeling. Beloved, God is teaching you the difference between peace and avoidance. Peace comes with clarity. Avoidance comes with unease. If something brings temporary relief but long-term confusion, it is not from God. Archangel Michael urges you to listen to what remains after the excitement fades. You are also being taught how to steward emotional energy. Not every feeling requires action. Not every thought requires agreement. You are learning to observe without absorbing. This maturity will protect you in the season ahead, where influence increases and opinions multiply. There is a quiet confidence forming in you now. You trust yourself more because you trust God more. You are no longer afraid of making mistakes because you know correction does not mean rejection. His freedom is powerful. It allows you to move forward without paralysis. Beloved child, the change approaching you will require patience with people who are still becoming. You will outgrow certain conversations. You will notice gaps in understanding. This does not mean you withdraw in pride. It means you lead with grace while maintaining boundaries. Not everyone will walk with you, but you do not need to drag them or abandon them. Let God manage the distance. Archangel Michael also highlights the importance of humility in this phase. Not shrinking humility, but grounded humility. Remember where God brought you from, without returning there emotionally. Gratitude will keep your heart soft as responsibility increases. There may be moments when you feel unseen again, even as alignment deepens. This is temporary. God often allows a quiet stretch before public confirmation. It ensures that your identity is not tied to recognition. What is coming will not require you to prove yourself, because heaven already has. Beloved, your discernment is now strong enough to guide others, but wisdom will teach you when to speak and when to let life instruct. You do not need to correct everyone. Sometimes your consistency will preach louder than words. As this stage unfolds, pay attention to your inner dialogue. God is renewing how you speak to yourself. Harsh self-talk is being replaced with truth. Shame is being replaced with understanding. This inner alignment is crucial because how you speak to yourself determines how you carry responsibility. Archangel Michael reassures you that nothing unfolding now is accidental. Even the quiet moments are scheduled. Even the waiting is productive. You are not circling the same place. You are being fortified. Remain steady. Remain teachable. Remain grounded. What follows this stage will not catch you off guard because you are being prepared to recognize it without fear. The next unfolding will bring visible confirmation of everything that has been happening beneath the surface. My precious child, Archangel Michael now steps forward with a tone that carries both reassurance and urgency because this stage marks a visible turning point. What has been forming quietly is beginning to surface. The internal alignment you have been cultivating is now preparing to meet external confirmation. This is where faith moves from being felt to being seen. You may begin to notice subtle but undeniable signs that things are shifting. People respond to you differently. Conversations open without force. Opportunities appear without strain. This is not because you suddenly became more capable, but because resistance hath been lifted. When God aligns you, doors no longer require pushing. They recognize you. Archangel Michael reveals that this phase will test your ability to remain grounded while being elevated. Elevation does not always look like applause. Sometimes it looks like increased responsibility, clear vision, and deeper accountability. God is trusting you with more influence, even if it does not yet look public. Influence begins in the spirit before it appears in the natural. Beloved, be mindful of how you interpret success in this season. Do not measure it by speed or comparison. Measure it by peace, sustainability, and alignment. What God is building now is meant to last. Anything rushed may impress briefly, but what is aligned will endure. There may be moments where you feel a strange mix of excitement and vulnerability. This is natural. Growth always exposes new layers. You are stepping into spaces where old coping mechanisms no longer apply. Archangel Michael assures you that you are not underprepared. You are becoming. This is also a season of clear separation, not through conflict, but through clarity. You will naturally drift from what no longer resonates. Conversations will shorten. Priorities will shift. This is not loss, it is focus. God is narrowing your path so your energy is not divided. Beloved child, as visibility increases, so will discernment. You will sense when to engage and when to withdraw. Not everyone needs access to your process. Protect what God is growing. Some things thrive best before they are exposed. At this point in the journey, it is important that you stay connected to encouragement and truth. If this message is strengthening you, take a moment to like it, share it with someone who needs direction, and leave a comment declaring your agreement with what God is doing. Make sure you are subscribed so you continue receiving these timely messages. Staying connected matters in seasons of change. Archangel Michael now highlights something crucial. Humility will keep you aligned as doors open. Do not confuse confidence with self-reliance. God is the source, not the stepping stone. Return to gratitude often. Gratitude anchors blessing. You may also experience moments where old fears try to resurface. Thoughts like, what if this doesn't last? Or what if I fail? These thoughts are not prophecy, they are echoes of old seasons. Do not give them authority. What God establishes, He sustains. Beloved, your obedience has already altered timelines. Things that were once delayed are now accelerating. This acceleration does not require you to move faster. It requires you to stay present. Do not rush ahead emotionally. Let each step land before taking the next. There is a sacred responsibility coming with this change. People will look to you for clarity, even if they do not say it out loud. Your peace will speak. Your consistency will reassure. This is leadership in its purest form. As this part of the message draws to a close, receive this prophetic activation with faith. Type "I walk in divine timing" in the comments if your spirit agrees with this word. Blessing code 1440 is now released over your life. As Archangel Michael speaks of elevation, timing, and responsibility, I am speaking to those whose hearts are stirred to help this word reach further. This is my direct invitation to you. When you release support through Super Thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing light into places still trapped in confusion. God says that those who pour water will be refreshed themselves, and I declare that promise alive over you now. This act is not ordinary support. It is prophetic partnership. As you give, may doors open with ease, may provision meet you early, and may heaven remember your obedience. Do this now, and stand as a co-laborer in what God is releasing through this message. My beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks with quiet certainty, because this phase is about integration. What has been revealed, activated, and confirmed must now be lived consistently. This is where divine change settles into daily life, not as a dramatic event, but as a new way of being. Many people miss this stage because they expect constant intensity. God, however, is establishing permanence. You may notice that life begins to feel different in subtle ways. Your reactions are calm. Your decisions are clearer. Your priorities are simpler. This is not boredom. It is stability. Archangel Michael says heaven is anchoring you so that what had been released does not slip away. Breakthroughs that last are built on steadiness, not adrenaline. There is an adjustment happening in how you define progress. Before, progress meant visible results. Now, it means inner alignment maintained under pressure. You are learning that staying grounded during uncertainty is a victory. Choosing peace when provoked is advancement. Remaining faithful when nothing is announced is maturity. Beloved child, this season will reveal how much you have truly changed. Old triggers may appear briefly, but they will not hook you the same way. Situations that once pulled you into anxiety will now meet a calm response. This is not because problems disappeared, but because you are no longer operating from fear. Authority has replaced urgency. Archangel Michael reveals that discipline is being strengthened in you now. Not rigid control, but gentle consistency. You are forming habits that support your future self. Healthy boundaries, clear schedules, more intentional rest. These practical shifts are spiritual acts. They create room for God to move without resistance. You may also notice that your tolerance for misalignment has decreased. Things that once felt acceptable now feel heavy. This is discernment refining itself. Do not ignore this sensitivity. It is guiding you away from unnecessary battles and toward focused purpose. Beloved, there is a temptation in this stage to look back and question the journey. To wonder if all the work was worth it. Archangel Michael says this reflection is natural, but do not linger there. Looking back is for gratitude, not doubt. Every step shaped you for what you now carry. God is also teaching you how to wait without anxiety. Waiting used to feel like punishment. Now it feels like trust. This is a significant shift. Waiting no longer drains you because you are no longer unsure of direction. You know where you are headed, even if the timing remains hidden. There may be moments where you feel less emotionally charged than before. Less highs, less lows. This does not mean your passion is fading. It means your nervous system is healing. Stability allows you to sustain purpose without burnout. Archangel Michael says this calm is a gift, not a warning sign. Beloved child, as your life integrates this change, you will become a safe place for others. People may open up to you unexpectedly. They will sense your steadiness. This does not mean you must carry their burdens. It means your presence itself will bring reassurance. And know when to listen and when to redirect them to God. This stage also teaches you how to handle silence from heaven. Silence no longer feels like abandonment. It feels like trust. God is not speaking less because He is distant. He is speaking less because you are hearing more clearly. You are learning to recognize His guidance through peace, not pressure. Archangel Michael emphasizes the importance of guarding your thought life now. What you entertain mentally will either strengthen alignment or weaken it. Replace speculation with prayer. Replace worry with action when possible, and surrender when action is not required. This balance will keep you steady. You are also learning that not every good thing needs to be maximized immediately. Some blessings grow best when they are allowed to develop naturally. Resist the urge to rush outcomes or announce progress prematurely. Let completion speak louder than intention. Beloved, humility continues to be your safeguard. As clarity increases, remain teachable. God will continue refining you through small corrections. These are not setbacks. They are adjustments that keep you aligned with His best. You may sense that something significant is still ahead, even as life feels calmer. You are correct. This calm is not the destination. It is the runway. God is ensuring you are stable enough for what comes next. The next move will require clarity, not chaos. Archangel Michael assures you that you have not peaked. You have position. What lies ahead will not overwhelm you because you have learned how to remain anchored. This is why the process mattered so deeply. Stay present. Stay grounded. Stay faithful in small things. The final unfolding will come at the right moment, and when it does, you will recognize it not with panic, but with peace. My beloved child, Archangel Michael now speaks with a tone that is firm yet reassuring, because this stage is about readiness meeting responsibility. What has been stabilized within you is now being quietly tested in real situations, not to trap you, but to confirm you. God does not test to expose weakness. He tests to reveal strength you may not yet recognize in yourself. You may notice that decisions feel more consequential now. Small choices seem to carry greater weight. This is because your influence has increased, even if it is not yet obvious. Heaven measures influence by impact, not visibility. Archangel Michael confirms that your obedience is now affecting outcomes beyond your personal life. This season requires intentional focus. Distractions that once felt harmless now feel costly. You are becoming aware of how precious your time and energy truly are. God is teaching you stewardship, not just of resources, but of attention. What you consistently give attention to will shape the next chapter of your life. Beloved, there may be moments where pressure rises unexpectedly. Responsibilities overlap. Expectations increase. Do not interpret this as God piling on weight. This is transition pressure. It happens when capacity expands. Like muscles strengthening under resistance, your spiritual endurance is increasing through application. Archangel Michael reminds you that you are not meant to carry everything alone. Discernment will now guide you on what to release, what to delegate, and what to carry forward. Strength does not mean doing everything yourself. Wisdom knows when to ask for support and when to wait on God. You are also being taught to respond to success with humility and to challenges with composure. Emotional extremes are no longer necessary. God is training you to remain steady regardless of outcome. This steadiness will protect you from pride in good seasons and despair in difficult ones. Beloved child, comparison may attempt to re-enter your thoughts during this phase. You may notice others moving faster, being seen more, or appearing more rewarded. Do not let appearances distort truth. God's timing is personal. What is delayed for you is being refined, not denied. Archangel Michael says your path is being protected from shortcuts that would have cost you later. There is also an invitation in this season to deepen discipline without becoming rigid. Structure will serve you, but flexibility will keep you human. God does not want mechanical obedience, He wants relational obedience. Stay connected to His presence, not just His instructions. As this message reaches you, stay engaged with what God is revealing here. If these words are strengthening you, take a moment to like this message, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and leave a comment declaring your commitment to walk in alignment. Make sure you are subscribed so you remain connected to these prophetic insights as they unfold. Hold on, because what comes next will bring clarity that many wait years to understand. Archangel Michael now speaks about endurance. The next stretch will not be dramatic, but it will be decisive. You will be asked to remain faithful in routines, consistent in values, and patient in outcomes. This is where lasting success is formed. Anyone can respond well in crisis. Remain faithful in stability. Beloved, you are also learning how to self-correct quickly. When you sense misalignment, you no longer ignore it. You adjust. You pray. You realign. This responsiveness will keep you from drifting. God values a soft heart more than flawless execution. There may be moments where you feel unseen again, even after growth. This is not regression. God often hides His servants while strengthening their roots. Visibility without grounding would have damaged what He is building. Trust the process that keeps you whole. Archangel Michael assures you that your obedience is being recorded, even when no affirmation comes from people. Heaven celebrates consistency. Angels are assigned to movements that align with God's will, even when they seem small in human eyes. You are also being trained to wait without disengaging. Waiting now looks like preparation, not passivity. You are sharpening skills, refining character, and strengthening trust. This waiting is active and is purposeful. Beloved child, do not underestimate how far you have come. There was a time when uncertainty controlled you. Now clarity guides you. There was a time when fear dictated your choices. Now peace informs them. This transformation is evidence that God has been faithful every step of the way. As this part closes, remain attentive and grounded. You are approaching a moment where God's intent becomes unmistakable. This is not the end of the journey, but it is a pivotal stretch. Stay with this process, because the next unfolding will bring resolution to what has felt unfinished for so long. My beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks with a quiet authority that steadies your heart, because this stage is about convergence. All the preparation, pruning, patience, and perseverance are beginning to meet at a single point. What once felt scattered is aligning. What once felt delayed is finding its order. God is bringing pieces together that could not connect until you were ready to hold them. You may sense a growing clarity about what truly matters. Decisions feel less complicated because distractions no longer carry the same appeal. This is not loss of interest. It is refinement of purpose. Archangel Michael says heaven is simplifying your path so your energy is not wasted on what will not last. Focus is being restored, and with it, peace. There is also a strengthening of trust happening now. Not blind trust, but informed trust. You have seen enough of God's faithfulness to know that even when you do not understand His methods, His intentions remain good. This trust allows you to move forward without demanding constant reassurance. Confidence is replacing anxiety. Beloved child, this phase may feel unusually quiet on the outside while deeply active on the inside. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation, but often creates a pause before a significant shift so that nothing is rushed or misaligned. In this pause, wisdom settles, emotions stabilize, vision clarifies. You are also learning how to carry anticipation without tension. You know something is coming, yet you are not frantic about its arrival. This balance is rare and valuable. It allows you to remain present while still hopeful. Archangel Michael confirms that this posture keeps you aligned with divine timing. There may be moments when old questions try to resurface. Questions about worth, direction, or adequacy. These questions are not invitations to doubt. They are remnants of old seasons leaving your system. You no longer need to answer them. Your life is answering them through consistency and growth. Beloved, your discernment is now refined enough to recognize when something is complete. You no longer force continuation where grace has lifted. Endings no longer feel like failure. They feel like closure. This maturity will save you time, energy, and emotional strain in the season ahead. God is also teaching you how to receive without suspicion. In earlier seasons, blessings felt temporary, as if you had to brace for loss. Now, you are learning to enjoy what God gives without fear. Gratitude is replacing vigilance. This shift allows joy to stay longer. Archangel Michael reveals that your spiritual posture is influencing the atmosphere around you. Environments respond differently to you now. Tension dissipates more quickly. Conflicts resolve with less effort. This is not coincidence. Peace carries authority when it is rooted in truth. You may also notice a stronger sense of internal permission. Permission to rest. Permission to say no. Permission to move forward without explaining every step. God is affirming your discernment. You are no longer seeking approval. You are honoring alignment. Beloved child, the change approaching you is not just about what will happen, but about who you have become in the process. You are no longer reactive. You are responsive. You are no longer driven by urgency. You are guided by wisdom. This transformation ensures that what God brings into your life will be sustained, not squandered. There is also a deepening of spiritual sensitivity. You are more aware of subtle nudges, quiet warnings, and gentle confirmations. This sensitivity does not make you fragile. It makes you accurate. Archangel Michael says accuracy will protect you more than force ever could. You may feel a growing desire to bring order to your life, clearing spaces, finishing loose ends, simplifying commitments. This is alignment expressing itself practically. God often prepares the natural environment to match the spiritual shift. Follow this instinct without pressure. Beloved, patience is now working for you, not against you. What once felt like waiting now feels like timing. You understand that rushing would have cost you clarity. Slowing down preserved it. This understanding will serve you well as doors begin to open more visibly. Archangel Michael assures you that heaven has not forgotten a single promise. Some were delayed to protect you. Others were delayed to position others. All are accounted for. God does not lose track of what He has spoken. As this stage unfolds, remain attentive but relaxed. Stay faithful in what is in front of you. Continue choosing integrity in small moments. These choices are aligning you with a future that will feel familiar, not foreign, because you have grown into it. You are closer now than at any other point. The convergence is real. The alignment is intentional. And the final unfolding will not surprise you with chaos, but with recognition. When it arrives, you will not ask if it is from God. You will know, because it will match the work He has already completed within you. My beloved child, Archangel Michael now stands with unmistakable authority, because this is the moment of release. What has been forming, aligning, stabilizing, and converging is now ready to be revealed in motion. This is not an ending, it is an arrival. The last alert was never meant to frighten you. It was meant to awaken you to the sacred weight of this moment. You are stepping into a season where God's intentions become undeniable. Not because everything will suddenly be easy, but because everything will finally make sense. Confusion is lifting. Fragmentation is ending. The inner and outer worlds are beginning to agree. This is divine order settling into place. Archangel Michael says the reason this change could not wait is because delay would have created distortion. You were ready, but more than that, the assignment was ready. Heaven does not rush, but it does move decisively when the time comes. This is one of those moments. What unfolds from here will move faster than the preparation ever did. Beloved, you may feel a quiet certainty replacing anticipation. This certainty is not excitement, it is knowing. You are no longer guessing what God is doing. You are recognizing it. Recognition brings peace, and peace confirms alignment. There will be tangible evidence soon. A shift in position. A new responsibility. A door that opens cleanly. A burden that lifts permanently. Do not dismiss these signs as coincidence. They are confirmations layered gently so you are not overwhelmed. God is kind in His reveal. Archangel Michael reminds you to remain anchored as visibility increases. Praise may come. Attention may follow. Expectations may rise. Stay rooted in the same humility that carried you through the hidden seasons. What sustained you in silence will sustain you in clarity. Beloved child, do not rush to narrate what God is doing. Let your life speak first. Let consistency testify. Words will have their time, but fruit carries more authority than explanation. You do not need to convince anyone of what God has already confirmed. This season will require discernment and celebration. Celebrate without becoming careless. Rejoice without becoming distracted. Gratitude will keep you aligned when momentum increases. Return often to thanksgiving. It will guard your heart. You may notice that old fears no longer have language. They try to rise, but they cannot articulate themselves. This is because they no longer belong. You have outgrown them. Fear does not survive where trust has matured. Archangel Michael says something important now. Do not underestimate the impact of your obedience on others. Even those who never speak it are watching. Your consistency has given them permission to trust God again. Your endurance has preached louder than words. As this chapter opens fully, remain attentive to God's voice, but do not strain to hear it. You are no longer being led by urgency. You are being led by alignment. Trust the peace that accompanies your decisions. It is your confirmation. Beloved, this is not a season of striving. It is a season of stewardship. What God places in your hands now must be cared for, protected, and honored. You are capable of this. Heaven would not release it otherwise. Now receive this final prophetic activation with faith and confidence. Type "I step into divine completion" in the comments if you receive this message fully. Blessing code 1212 is now activated over your life. As Archangel Michael speaks of release, responsibility, and fulfillment, I am speaking to those whose spirits know this word must go further. This is my direct instruction to you. When you release support through Super Thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link placed in the description, you are not supporting a voice. You are fueling a mission that reaches hearts at the exact moment they are ready. God declares that those who sow into good ground will reap in due season, and I speak that promise alive over your obedience now. Your giving is not a donation. It is a prophetic act of alignment with heaven's timing. As you give, may completion come to delayed areas of your life, may provision overtake you, and may clarity guard every step ahead. Obey this now, and stand as a partner in what God has finished and what He is now releasing.